This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'd like to be joined by Chris Algieri down here in Liverpool. Chris, welcome into the UK. How are you?
Doing well. Good. Happy to be here.
That's good to hear. Now, we've just had the open workout here ahead of your fight with Benn. As you've sort of gone through your career, do you learn just to enjoy these kind of things and not really take too much from it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think this is more for everybody else than for us, of course. But yeah, I mean, I've done so many of these at this point. It's just get out there, flex some muscles, talk to some people, go back home, get ready for the fight.
In terms of Benn, we've seen him doing his workout there. He looked like he'd wrapped up the punch, and then when you didn't, he sort of decided not to. But Conor as a fighter, when he first started in the UK, there was a lot of people on his back saying maybe he wasn't going to go as far as he has. Mm-hmm. What have you made of his development? How impressed have you been to see how much he's developed?
You know, I wasn't really following him. You know, I met him probably about a year ago while commentating, and have been following since then, obviously. And then this fight came up, and then we started looking into it. But yeah, no, it seems like he's progressing. But this is a big step up.
When you watch him, what do you think he does well as a fighter?
He's an aggressive guy, comes forward. He's willing to trade and mix it up. But there are some things that we see that we can capitalize on.
Anything you can enlighten us on without giving too much away?
I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot. If you look at his style, you can see where there's holes, and we're just going to take advantage of everything.
With the Vargas fight, and especially with the Granados fight as well, were you surprised they couldn't test him a bit more?
I mean, the Vargas fight, obviously, he got blown out pretty quick. There really wasn't much to tell from that except for, hey, he's explosive. Great job. I thought that was his best performance thus far. Granados, that was a bit of an eye-opening fight as well, in a different way. You got to see some different aspects, get to see him go the 10 rounds and see what happens with a mover.
Were you surprised by Granados' approach to that fight and maybe the difficulties Benn had at times?
Yeah, I was too. I expected him to, I think Granados, especially at 140, is much more of a volume puncher, coming forward kind of guy. At 47, not so much. But, he showed movement that night, and he's not really known for that. He actually almost looked slick at times. So it was an interesting style for him to utilize that night.
Chris, we know you're someone who looks after themselves extremely well away from the ring. This being at 147 as well, how good do you feel at that weight?
I mean, it's great. I mean, I've competed at 147, many times before at the highest level. I'm not small for the weight class either. I'm huge for 140, but even 147, I'm long, I'm tall. I put on the weight just fine. So I feel good. It's been an easy week.
For all them fighters out there looking at you at 37 years old in a fight of this magnitude, what is the key to longevity?
The champion lifestyle, and that's what you do outside of the ring, outside of the gym. It's your body is your tool as a fighter, as a boxer, as a professional athlete. So keeping this thing intact and maintained while not training for a fight camp is really important.
With the British fighter in the UK, Britain's been as bad as anywhere in the world for decisions these days. Is that on your mind that you may have to win this conclusively to get a decision?
Yeah, I mean, I always feel like that. I always feel like if I do my job and I do what I'm supposed to do, it's going to be clear cut that I'm winning the rounds. But that's boxing.
Final couple before I let you go, Chris. Appreciate it. It's almost food time. You were out there for George Kambosos claiming the undisputed or unified, depending on how you want to look at it, lightweight championship. Your final reflections on that brilliant night for George Kambosos?
Yeah, Kambosos fought beautifully. He's very disciplined. He had a guy in front of him that looked like he was kind of falling apart, from a lot of different places. So it was a thank you, Darren Barker. But it was. I'm very happy for Kambosos. He fought a very smart fight, and hopefully Teofimo can bounce back, because I'm actually a big fan of him and his style. I don't think that was his best that night, but that's boxing too.
Final one before I let you go, Chris. Amir Khan and Brook. We saw the press conference. Better late than never, in your opinion?
Yeah, actually, better late than never. They're both not at the heights of their career, so they're fighting each other at this stage is fine. I still think it's a fun fight. I still think it's a good fight.
People are struggling to separate them. We haven't seen much of either of them in the last couple of years. Can you pick between them?
No. Honestly, at this stage, I don't know what version is going to show up. But I'll be there tuned in.
All right, Chris Algieri, thank you for speaking to Boxing Social. We'll catch you soon.